What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's me at HEAD, back with another video. And yes, this is a very special video, ladies and gentlemen, because today is Fear and Loathing Day. So I'm going to review Fear and Loathing 2013. Now, I know I said I'd do this at 7 o'clock. It's been scheduled for 7 o'clock, but I brought it forward early because I am completely knackered. So I thought I'll do this, get it out of the way, and you guys can watch it and enjoy and do whatever it is you can with it. So I apologize if this is scheduled for 7 o'clock and I've done it a bit early. Don't worry though, you're going to get to see it on the Wrestling Madness channel anyway, so no worries about it at all. But I apologize if this is a little bit earlier than scheduled, or than I had planned, really. But hey, it is what it is. I'm not very well at the moment. So I thought I'd do this now. I promised you I was going to do it today, and I stand by that. So I thought I'd do it now and get it over with. Fear and Loathing is tonight. Fear and Loathing 2015, and I'm very much looking forward to watching that when it eventually comes out on the ICW On Demand service. But this is Fear and Loathing 6, I believe, 2013. Headlined, rather, by Mikey Whiplash defending the ICW title against Jack Jester, which led to what happened the previous next year, which was Jack Jester versus Drew Galloway. Excuse me. I believe Mikey had this for a full year, this ICW title for a full year, because if my memory serves me correctly, I believe he won it. I think he won it at I can't remember, but I believe he won it either a Fear and Loathing. It was either a Fear and Loathing or he won it at some show, because he cashed it in a square go. He cashed it in as a square go. I'm trying to remember this. It's very hard to remember. I believe all that is on the ICW YouTube page. I believe. I might be wrong. So it kicked off with a 0G title match with Mark Coffey defending against Solar. Now, these two have met before. You know, this is the first time these two have wrestled. I believe that the rematch at Shug's house party. And these two were feuding back then for the 0G title. It was just a case of power versus quickness, really. Some great wrestling to start off. These, like I say, power versus quickness. Quickness with Solar, power with Mark. Solar could throw Daniel Bryan kicks. He was trying to anyway. And yeah, it was just a good match to begin the show. I don't know what to make of the Z title. I believe the 0G title is it could be the X Division title of the ICW, to be honest with you, except it's a better division, because the X Division title is not what it used to be in TNA. But yeah, it's a better division than what it is, and it's a great division too, because many people have held that belt and went on to be world champion or the ICW champion. Solar dives on Coffey but gets injured on the outside, which means that he has to stop the match. The referee stops the match, and Mark retains the title. But Mark was determined to give him a post-match beatdown on the outside, which he did. And then after that, great old promo. Good all-round match, though, to begin. I liked it. It's just a shame it had to end with an injury. Very good way to kick off. And like I said, this wasn't the first time these two met for the 0G title, if you will. Is it Bete Noire? If that's wrong, I apologize. It's spelled Bete versus Bete Noire and Viper tag teamed against Carmel, and somebody else was supposed to be there, but she didn't turn up. So she went out and got Kaylee Ray. And the story of the match basically was just Kaylee Ray and Carmel could not get along. It was as simple as that. Carmel wanted to do it by any means necessary. Kaylee Ray couldn't do it at all. She wanted to do it the fair way. It was just although they did show great tag team work, at the end of the day, Carmel and Kaylee Ray just couldn't get along. Carmel wanted Kaylee Ray at the end of the match to use the title. Kaylee Ray did not want to do that, but a miscue led Carmel to use the title and get the victory. Carmel looks for a handshake. Kaylee Ray slaps her in the mouth. I know it's all this your friends close and enemies closer routine, but that shouldn't have happened, quite frankly. That shouldn't have happened. But that's what you get when you have to, bring another person in, because your other tag team partner is not available. But, it is what it is. But as we all know, in future ICW matches, these two ended up feuding, and these two ended up in a war in future ICW. Shame it wasn't for that face female title, which now they've gone to being the ICW champion. ICW title tonight. Carmel's not with us anymore. She's now retired. And Kaylee Ray is still a member of the ICW roster, but she's also a member of the Kliq. And tonight she faces tonight at the Fear and Loathing show, apparently, I think she wrestles Nikki Storm to become the winner becomes the very first women's champion. So I couldn't say that there. It's a mouthful. Andy Wild versus Noam Dar was the next match. This was just basically an all-out wrestling match between two wrestlers. Very good wrestlers, so even, in my opinion. Story of the match is both men, when it came down to, they couldn't put each other away. Dar was working on the leg, which sets up for the that leg bar move that he calls, or that he uses, and the that move he uses on that move he calls the Champagne Super Knee Bar. If you watch Progress Wrestling, it was a great match, very very good match. But Wild played some mind games and managed to get the victory by roll up and a handful of tights. And Dar was not very happy, but he took the win with good grace. I wouldn't have done that. But all in all, a very good, solid wrestling match between the two. David the Beloved comes out and says that Layla Owens is a member of his Kliq, his crew, if you will. But Layla had other ideas. She came out and basically went down to her bra and panties, all bra even, and David the Beloved attacked her, and then Kaylee came out and put her in his place. Put them both in his place, so very much pays for it. But Layla and Casey Owens, that's the one. Casey Owens comes out and puts him in the place. Just a little segment. And David the Beloved is very much a poor man's brother love. Very much. And then it was the main event of the first half, which saw Rhino versus Jimmy Havoc versus James Scott. Now, this all came about. It was supposed to be Rhino versus Jimmy Havoc, but James Scott very much complained to ICW on management, and very much complained to them about wanting to be in this match, and they said it was him that should have been in the match, etc., etc., and he got his wish. Rhino meant business, very much indeed. Jimmy went toe-to-toe with him to start off, like a one-on-one kind of match, and James Scott was picking his spots at the end of the day. And then, say, halfway through the match, it got brutal. And I liked this match because there were signs of the old Rhino there. When I'm talking about the old Rhino, I'm talking about the old Rhino from ECW. You know, very much the old Rhino from Extreme Championship Wrestling. That probably the same Rhino that didn't care who he hurt and who was in his path. He just wanted to destroy them. And he basically destroyed these two. I mean, these three rather, fought in the crowd, fought outside, fought all over. It was just a good old-fashioned ECW style match, except the only thing was the pin had to be in the ring. Although there wasn't very much any Force Count Anywhere matches back in the day. But highlight of the match is when all three of them got Rhino put both of them through a table, speeded them through a table, gored them, if you will, and somehow Jimmy Havoc hits a double stomp on Rhino with a chair on top of him and gets the victory, much to the dismay of James Scott. But all in all, it was a very, very good match. Indeed, very good match. And I wouldn't mind seeing the old Rhino again sometime in NXT. Although Rhino is going one-on-one with Joe Coffey tonight at Fear and Loathing, as well, at the Fear and Loathing show. Very much looking forward to seeing that. That all started when they had an altercation backstage at a show, and it's all coming down to this. So I'm very much looking forward to that match. I think there's a lot of great matches on the card tonight on Fear and Loathing, but I believe that match may very well steal the show. It is capable of stealing the show. And I'm very much looking forward to it when ICW, with the Fear and Loathing show, eventually comes out on the ICW On Demand service. Next was a bit of a reunion. AK versus what was meant to be Wolfgang. But Lionheart came out, and then Mark Dallas introduced Red Lightning. That's right. Apparently, Red Lightning had been away. Them two had a bit of a falling out. I don't think they've ever got along, to be honest. And they had a six-man tag. So basically, it turned from a handicap match to the New Age Kliq versus members of the Gold Label. That's where it came out to be. But the only thing was, the story of the match from what I saw, Lionheart and Wolfgang did most of the work. Red Lightning did some, but if you're talking about balance, it was Lionheart and Wolfgang that did most of the work. NAK showed dominance in this match, very much so, because they were a cohesive unit, and basically Gold Label won, unless you count in Wolfgang and Lionheart, because they seemed to get along. But, you know, them and Red Lightning couldn't get along in the match. I mean, Red Lightning was definitely the odd one out in the match. A straight up fight, but now back and forth. It broke down into a fight towards the end of the match, and a miscue from Red allows NAK to steal it. You know, and Wolfgang and Lionheart show their dismay towards Red Lightning, which is obvious because they didn't. Like I said, it was more Lionheart and Wolfgang. It'd have been best off being 3-on-2. Like I said, although Red Lightning did do some work and did do some of the work, Red Lightning, Lionheart and Wolfgang. Red Lightning was down here on the work level thing. Kenny D put his boys in his place backstage, which was Christopher and Kenny Williams. Yes, this was back when Kenny Williams was managed by him. And look how that turned out. And then we move on to Robbie Dynamite versus Joe Coffey. Now, this was just a straight-up wrestling match. Good old-fashioned, old-school wrestling match. Hold for hold, slow-paced, move for move, chain wrestling, grapple, hold for hold, like I said. Just both men looking to finish one another in the process. They couldn't do it. This was just a good old-fashioned, old-school wrestling match, which saw Coffey get the win with a discus clothesline. But if you want to see this match, I suggest you go and find it because it was a good old school. If you like the old school style of wrestling, hold for hold, move for move, dare I say it was more World of Sport style as well back in the day with Big Daddy and all that, except it wasn't a Big Daddy, kind of move. It was, just a good old fashioned wrestling. What makes professional wrestling what it is today, in my opinion. Go and find it. Like I say, get yourself on the ICW On Demand service and see this match for yourself. Like I say, it was just nothing but wrestling, which, like I say, saw Joe Coffey very much get the victory. And Joe Coffey, where he was back then, he was still dressed as a member, like if he was a member of the, say, pro wrestling unit that they had back in the day with him, Mark Coffey, and Red Lightning. Excuse me. And he was still dressed in that kind of style. So back then, I think this was him trying to break away from that and get into his own style, which ended up having him, be the Iron Man of ICW. Dallas announced who was coming at the next show, which was Still Smoking, I believe it was. The next show that was going to be at that place they were at. They mentioned London and Kendrick and also Sabu. And if you want to see that show, Still Smoking, it's on the ICW On Demand service. Who else? 3-way tag team match to determine the number one contenders for the ICW tag team titles, which was the Sumerian Death Squad, Michael Dante and Tommy End versus Fight Club, Kid Fite and Liam Thomson versus the Bucky Boys, Stevie Boy and Davey Boy. Man comes out and does his thing. A fast and furious pace to start this match. It was 3-way. What do you expect? The fight went all over in the crowd. I don't think they got this down to a tag team style. I think they did, but for a brief time. Because, like I say, it was just three teams wanting to be the number one contenders for the tag team titles. Kid brought the bottle in, and Liam Thomson had hold of Davey Boy, and he was looking to use the bottle on Davey Boy, Kid Fite that is, until Mark Dallas came out and prevented it and got security to eject Fight Club from the match. So Fight Club were basically eliminated, and it came down to the Sumerian Death Squad but the Bucky Boys. And it took 3 attempts to finally put Stevie Boy away by Tommy End, which saw the Bucky Boys lose and Sumerian Death Squad get the victory and become the number one contenders for the ICW tag team titles, which I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, they eventually end up going on it and win. Either that or they have the match, but I believe the Bucky Boys get involved. I don't know. I don't remember. I have to research that, but I believe they eventually, at some point anyway, they become the ICW Tag Team Champions. And the Bucky Boys are now no more, as you well know, because Stevie Boy is not only the ZOG champion, he's a member of the Kliq. So, just seeing these guys where they were back then to where they are now. Liam Thompson's on his own. Fight Club split up. They had a feud together and everything. And Liam Thompson's now on his own. And Kid Fite is now a member of the 55. But all in all, a great, fast tag match, which in a way was kind of spoiled when Mark Dallas ejected Fight Club away from the ring. But it was understandable. But the Sumerian Death Squad managed to take advantage of that and get the victory and become the #1 contenders. Now for the ICW Heavyweight Championship match, which saw Mikey Whiplash and Jack Jester. Now, if you saw the documentary, you got behind the scenes of what happened on this match as well. Be sure to check out that documentary. It is on YouTube. Type ICW documentary on YouTube and you will find it. If I can, I'll put it in the description below. But it's easy to find. I've watched it many, many times. Not only the first one's up there, I believe the second one's up there too. So be sure to check them out as well. Check them both out because they're very, very interesting documentaries. Plus, they're the reason I'm watching ICW. Because I used to watch ICW back in the day. I didn't quite get it, what it was. And then the documentaries. It's amazing what documentaries can do, quite frankly. Then the documentaries came out and it leads to its own path, really. This was a brutal match, and you have to watch the match itself to get an example or to get the idea of how brutal it was. Yes, you get a little bit on the documentary, but you have to watch the full match because these two nearly killed each other. Highlight of the match, the fight all over the place. The fight in the crowd, the fight in the VIP area, the fight in the bar area. This wasn't a wrestling match for the championship. It was just an all-out fight. And Jack, as you probably saw on the documentary as well, you saw the bit where Jack Jester drives him through the table with a cactus elbow off the stage, driving Mikey through the table. He did that. It turned into a bloodbath, really, because both men were bleeding, except Jack was getting the worst out of it, and I mean the worst out of it. He did not look good. And it was a mistake by Mikey because he put the corkscrew in the corner and was looking to use it on Jack. Nearly got it used on himself, but Jack used the distraction to get the victory and get the roll up and become the ICW champion, as you clearly would have seen on the documentary as well, if you didn't see it on the ICW On Demand service, which it's up there right now, which is where I've got to see it. All in all, a brutal heavyweight championship match, and that was the start of Jack Jester's full year as ICW champion. And what a way to get it, to be honest. You know, I mean, if you saw the documentary, Mark Dallas was literally scared for their well-being in that match. Both men, not just Jack's, both men. He was literally scared for both their well-beings, and he couldn't watch the match hardly, but eventually ended up doing, and you know, he got what he wanted at the end of the day, which was Jack to win the ICW championship. And like I say, all in all around, top to bottom, a very, very good, entertaining show. Will it be the best? Will it be the best ICW Fear and Loathing show they've done? No, because I've got a funny feeling. Not only did 2014 top that, I've got a funny feeling 2015 is going to top it even more tonight. I can't wait to see it, and I'm going to see it on the ICW On Demand service. I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm recording this on the Sunday. I'm doing this on the Sunday, so hopefully it'll come out. But all in all, 5 out of 5 for me, and a solid 9 out of 10 if you're talking Sunday Segway terms, because it was a very, very good show. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the ICW Fear and Loathing review. Now, tune in to the Wrestling Madness channel this week, because starting tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday, starting tomorrow, I am going to do 5 days of videos. I've got 3 videos coming up this week, me talking about The Undertaker and what he's meant to me as a wrestling fan and the wrestling business to celebrate 25 years of The Undertaker, because SummerSlam is a week today. Not SummerSlam, Survivor Series, sorry. It is November, Walker, get a grip. But it's Survivor Series next week, and it's 25 years of The Undertaker. I've got a video coming tomorrow of The Undertaker. I've got the Raw review coming on Tuesday. I've got Wednesday and Thursday. I've got 2 more videos of The Undertaker, best matches and favorite moments. And then on Friday, I have Survivor Series predictions, which should be very interesting. So be sure to check that out. And the only way you get to check that out, ladies and gentlemen, is if you watch the ICW on demand. If you watch the Wrestling Matters channel, so I've got ICW on the brain, the Wrestling Matters channel, and the only way you can do that is subscribe to keep up to date with all of the stuff, all the good stuff and everything that takes place on this channel. And there's a lot of good stuff, and there's a lot more where that came from, ladies and gentlemen. I always have creative minds to bring you the best in pro wrestling. So if you like what you saw, hit the like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff, guys. Apologies for not feeling 100%, and apologies for doing this a little bit early, guys, but I'm not 100% at the moment. I'm very much ill. So I hope you've enjoyed it nonetheless. If you weren't here for the stream, don't worry. It's going to be on the Wrestling Matters channel eventually. It's going to be on the Wrestling Matters channel, so check it out and like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And until next time, guys, my name is Anthony Walker. ICW is the place to be for professional wrestling. Good luck to everyone tonight at the Fear and Loathing show. And until then, peace out.